I saw an extraordinarily disturbing image of Kristi Noem standing in front of prisoners in cages, standing there straight, shaved heads, no shirts, stacked high, obviously posing for Kristi Noem. Can you give me some background on that? Because that was such a jarring, disturbing image and something that I don't think I've ever seen in American government.
Yeah, I think that deserved more attention this week. I'm glad you brought that up. That's when, just this week, actually just 2 days ago, Kristi Noem, Secretary of Homeland Security, went to El Salvador's CICOT prison, where they just sent over 200 people that the administration says is tied to the gang Tren de Aragua. Right. Although, as we've heard in circuit court, it was very hard for them to prove those connections, but they used the Alien Enemies Act to do it anyway. I think what you saw there, though, really gets us outside of this back and forth about what's going on with Trump in the courts, and it shows the reality of that prison and people who were sent there without due process in our country. She's standing in front of these men, as you see there, many of them shirtless. They put 80 men in those cells for 23 and a half hours a day. They sleep like that. There's no individual beds. They're not allowed to talk. There are no mattresses, sheets. We've heard about some pretty disturbing, it's notorious for human rights abuses. I won't get into all of those details. She's seen there to show how tough she is on this. And of course, it's one of the reasons why Trump picked her. Many people thought it would be Chad Wolf. He picked her mainly for the reason that she wrote in her memoir that she shot her dog, who was untrainable. Trump likes her toughness, and she wants to put that toughness on display. And she said in that video that this should serve as a warning to anyone who comes to the United States illegally. Now, to cross the border illegally is a misdemeanor, something that's not usually even prosecuted in federal court, something that really doesn't even keep you from getting asylum. There are plenty of people who historically have claimed asylum by crossing the border illegally. Now, under this administration, you could end up in those situations. The other thing we should be asking is, how do we know that everyone there was even illegally in the United States without due process? You could potentially have American citizens. A judge even asked the Justice Department, could you put me on one of those planes and send me there? So there are a lot of questions behind that. They want to use this as a deterrence measure, but one of the things we're trying to get to the bottom of is, how long are those people going to be there? Because when she was asked that, she could not answer that question.